Hi, my name is Henrik Fisker. I'm here at the Art Center College of Design, the classic car event. It's a great event. Had a lot of fun here, and today I brought the Mustang Rocket, which is a joint venture between myself and Galpin, the biggest Ford dealer in the world. And it kind of came up with the idea about wanting to do something cool that only really a designer could do, which is simply just from the heart design a car without any input from anybody, and just really make sort of what I felt was the ultimate muscle car. So it's a full carbon fiber bodied Mustang with a whole new body, and it has 725 horsepower. And if you look very closely on the hood of it, we actually took off the paint to show the two black stripes, so you can actually see it's carbon fiber, raw carbon fiber, with just a clear coat, rather than painting the stripes on. And also, of course, the car is wider. It has 21-inch wheels. It's got quite extreme proportions. It's got air intakes and showing the muscle, everything I think an American muscle car should show. I kind of always wanted to work on an American muscle car, and specifically the Mustang. But the time I was at Ford, the car had just been designed when I came in, that model year, so I never got to work on it. And then I was driving up to Pebble Beach, and I thought it would be really cool to just, do a special model one day on the new Mustang. And actually, they hadn't come out yet. And on the way back from Pebble Beach, I stopped by Boeckmann, which is running Galpin, the biggest Ford dealership in the world. And I said, one day we should do a Mustang together, and I show him a few sketches, and he goes, these are just cool. Let's do that car now. And let's finish it for, the November LA Auto Show. And the problem is the car actually hadn't come out yet. And even though he was the biggest dealer, he actually couldn't get the car right away. So we had to start working without actually ever having seen the car in reality and without having a car. And suddenly the car arrived, and we had to work extremely fast to the point where this car is purely born out of passion. There was no discussions about any design changes or tame it down, or no marketing people came in and said we can't do that. So everything you see here is just pure passion. There's air intakes to show it's a muscle car. There's wide fenders, big wheels, and it just exactly came out like the sketch, which is very rare. But that's kind of the cool thing.
Well, especially if you work for an OEM, and nothing against the OEMs, but they're huge corporations, and they have marketing departments and they have accounting departments. Whereas doing a small kind of project like this, and you have a passionate enthusiast like Boeckmann, who just loves to go outside the box and over the top, and then you bring him this, and in the flesh, this is just such a cool-looking car. You must have gotten some great reviews on it so far.
Well, actually, we were only thinking to build a couple of them, one for Beau and one for me. So we showed it at the LA Auto Show, and I think we had about 350 people interested in it, and we said, we're gonna have to find a way to build this. So we set up a small production here in California, and of course it's all carbon fiber body, so we can build probably about 4 a week, but we're going to build in a fairly limited number. The price starts at around $125,000.
Now, I always like what's next, and I know you're working on a lot of things. You probably can't talk about a lot of things, but when we talk about the future of the automobile, where do you see the automobile going? You've been around for a while in the industry, and a lot of people want to paint this doom and gloom picture that we won't have fun cars in the future. We won't have interesting looking cars in the future because they think, well, it's all going to be about hydrogen and saving fuel and being green, but there will always be a passion for automobiles, won't there?
Well, I think cars are like food. We all know we need to eat salad, but it's nice to have a big steak once in a while with French fries, and I guess this is what this car is. And I think just as well as steak and fries, it's going to be here for a while. I think, cool, crazy cars with hopefully big V8 and supercharged and all that will be a while. I just think what's going to change is our daily transport. Those cars are probably going to be cleaner and cleaner. I think we're already past the fact that we know that plug-in hybrids and electric cars are coming. So that's not necessarily the next thing, because we know that's coming. I think the next thing is connected cars and finding a way to make them still be cool and fun to drive. And when I say connected, I don't mean self-driving cars. Even those have to be cool looking, because nobody wants to be driven around in a dorky car at the end of the day. And you have to pay for it somehow, whether we're sharing it, whether we're buying it. You know, the consumer has to pay, and they want it to be cool and they want it to be fun.
So these students that are here today, what kind of advice do you give to them as they have to look out in the future, get that first job, work on designing mobility, as we call it? What kind of things do they have to take away from the actual education they get? Some things maybe can't be taught, I guess.
Well, I think the great takeaway from this show is that we all go around here and we look at these very beautiful cars, and it gets our heart pounding. We want them. And I think students have to still create cars that we want, things that looks great, looks beautiful, it's exciting, and it doesn't matter what technology is in these cars, they got to look beautiful. And you know, that's something you start developing a skill for when you're at Art Center. It has a lot to do with proportion, surface development, the graphics, but it's really a combination of all these things. You've got to find a way to put that together, whether it's ultimately a self-driving car, electric car, you know, a muscle car, whatever it is. But I think the beautiful, sexy cars, they will always be there, and the small car manufacturers or specialty cars obviously can go more extreme, and that's going to always be, I think, the separation from the everyday car, where ultimately, you know, you're somewhat constrained of space and cost and space efficiency and all that. So, you know, we don't need any more of these super long hoods, but they just look cool. So we find perhaps a way to put a lot of stuff in the hoods to keep them long. You know, we make sports cars. So I think the beautiful proportion cars, they will stay around, and I hope to show another cool project maybe beginning of next year.
Aha! Well, and I know there's a lot of big events that happen in the first part of the year, so we'll just leave it at that. Henrik Fisker, thank you so much for sharing this time with us. This beautiful rocket. I'm not even going to call it a Mustang rocket. I'm just going to call it the rocket. And of course, the HF logo in the center of the wheels. How about a nice round of applause for Henrik Fisker and the work that he does and still does today.
So that's been a fun project, and I'm here sharing it today at Art Center College of Design. And I'm working on some new projects in the future that hopefully I can share with everybody next year. And hopefully I can bring that to the next Art Center Classic Car event. Thank you.